Hello everyone, I am Antra. Thanks for joining me again today for our live discussion session. This is a new month and we are thrilled to announce our new lineup, which will be made sometime later. But I am delighted, I'm like over the moon delighted to have begun our new month with a brilliant author, the session with a brilliant author, a talented author. Her name is Trishna Damodar. She is the author of the book Amma and I, and like I'm super excited to have her today. Before I request her to join the session. I send her the request. I would like to tell you why My Secret Bookshelf likes this book and why we have picked up and we are listing this book on our online bookstore. I'm sure we are all smart and we can go browse the blurb and figure it out that it's a very touching story of a mother and daughter. It's set in Kerala during 1970s, and it talks about the strength, the firmness of the relationship that a mother and daughter has. But what we really liked is the fact is of course the narration, how the author has narrated the entire story, but in fact the how beautifully the author has brought out the want of the mother, the mother's uh, dreams or aspirations for her daughter. The narration is superb. If you read it, you will figure out how the story unfolds, and I'm not going to give it away. Uh, but uh, but I think being a daughter and reading the book, I could relate and I could actually sense what a mother goes through, uh, the dreams that she has, that okay, I could not do this, but then I would want my daughter to have all these things that I could not achieve maybe. And how of course there is of course both of them are very practical characters, and you will love to read a story which where two characters are very independent in spite of being dependent on each other. Like it's very uniquely written, and uh, and then of course it has a happy ending which we all like. So yes, that's a blurb and why we love Amma and I. But then there are so many other things that I want to discuss and I want to talk with Trishna. So without wasting further time, I'm going to send Trishna a request so that she joins me an hour ago, but then I was facing some technical glitches, so I really apologize for that. So I hope Krishna accepts. Yay! Hi Krishna, you look
Hi.
lovely.
Oh God. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So
Hi,
how's the
Antara.
Sunday?
Uh,
Finally, we see each other.
yes,
It's
face to face after a long time
yes,
of
yes,
WhatsApp
yes.
messages.
Right. And I hope you are having a lovely Sunday.
Yes.
And it's you are in Bangalore, right?
No, no, I'm in Mumbai.
Oh, okay, Mumbai. So Mumbai, I hope Mumbai is a lovely city, and I really like Mumbai. Like next to Delhi, Mumbai would be my favorite place
So
to
you are in
be.
Delhi?
Right now, I am in Guwahati, Assam. So that is where I belong to,
Okay.
but I was working in Delhi.
Okay. Okay.
So I gave a brief about why I like Amma and I.
I heard. Thank you so
Uh,
much for so many compliments. And
but actually, maybe this will be a first time when like I'm talking to the author, and I'm not hesitant to say that even though it sounds very conventional, the story sounds very conventional, but then how the narration unfolds, how beautifully you have narrated there is this struggle, but then you understand, you figure out that there is also this interdependency of the characters,
Yes.
the mother and daughter, and of course there are other side characters.
Yes. Yes.
Um, and keeping in mind that it's set in 1970s
70s. Yeah.
when there were not much things around. So I would like to know what made you think of writing on this topic? Like, what made you think that, okay, this is something that I want to write? Of course,
Right.
we are both daughters.
Yes. Well, the thing is that before I get into this answer, I would like to truly thank you guys for organizing this particular live chat. It's a first for me, and I also would like to thank all those who have joined us in this particular session. So coming back to your question, I hope I'm audible.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
great. So coming back to this question, Amma and actually started out as a romance. So
Okay,
when I started the book, it was a romance between Ashok and Maya. And
okay,
when I got to 30 pages, um, I stopped and I took some time off, and because the story was not flowing, so I took some time off. And then when I came back to the writing table is when the story just took a turn, keeping the mother character and the daughter's connection more at front. So I just went with what was coming to me, and that's how Amma and I, the title also came into being post that.
okay.
And then
So,
when yeah.
so how many drafts, like you think you might have written before the manuscript actually hit publishing?
So I finished the complete story. My style of writing is like I finish a complete story, and then I go back to it and I keep dabbling it. I mean, I nibble and I just bring in maybe an extra chapter or change some things around. So I come back and revisit. So maybe about 3 or 4 edits or changes before I finally gave it to a publisher.
And did the publisher demand any changes or any modifications or anything?
No, there were a couple of edits, but that was not to the storyline. That was mainly only restricted to grammar and a few commas. And
Okay, so Krishna might have gone, either it's my network issue or it's Krishna's network issue and she has frozen. But I think you were just frozen. Are
yeah,
you
I
back
know.
with us,
Yes,
Krishna?
yes, I'm back. I'm back.
Okay, all right. I think there is some issue going on. If you are using Airtel, then
No, I'm
maybe,
using Vodafone.
okay, all right. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
using Airtel and it's like showing up since morning. Never mind.
Never
Uh,
mind.
so, is there any, would you like to read any chapter or maybe a few lines for us that you really like from this book?
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. I'll just keep my specs on.
Yes, yes. You look even more beautiful with your specs
Thank
on.
you. These are my reading glasses. Yeah, so, all right. So, this is a little excerpt from the first chapter. Maya's hands shook a little as she carried the tray filled with 3 cups of coffee and a plate of Nendraparam Porchade. She kept telling herself to calm down and decided that the best option would be to look down and concentrate really hard on the tray rather than look up and smile at the stranger who might be her husband. At least smile, dear. We are not taking you to the slaughterhouse. Maya wanted to tell her mother that it felt exactly like that. But before she could, they had already reached the seating area. And even though Maya was only looking at the tray with a plastic smile on her face, she could sense all the eyes in the room were on her. Smita scanned Maya as if she were a thief trying to steal the Kohinoor. She was taken aback slightly at Maya's lean, slender appearance. The sari enhanced her curves, and Smita felt the photo she had seen of Maya did not do her justice. But she maintained her stern expression, not wanting to give away any sign of apprehension. Maya set the tray down at the table and went to sit beside her father, at which point Anand asked her to come and sit beside him. Maya found that this option was rather uncomfortable, but she had no choice but to abide by it. Ashok grinned as, with this slight gesture, he realized that his father had approved of Maya at the first glance. So this is just a little bit of a little para or two of the first chapter, in which it basically shows, in the earlier days how it used to be. The girl comes and presents herself literally to the prospective groom, and how unsure and uncertain she is of everything that surrounds her. I'm sure certain people go through it even now. Um, I don't know, because I don't come from a very traditional background currently. So uh, at that time, and for instance, Ashok, on the other hand, is cheering for his parents to approve of Maya. So
Right.
that's what this scene encapsulates.
Right, exactly. And thank you so much for reading it so beautifully.
Thank
Um,
you.
like it seemed like the scene appeared in front of the eyes, literally.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
with this, I am really triggered to know what are you currently reading and what is your favorite genre, or is there any favorite book that you would like to share with us?
Yes, definitely. So I read mainly romance and fantasy. That is the
Okay.
genre that I usually enjoy. And my favorite, it might sound like a cliche, but I really, really love J.K. Rowling's Harry Potters. I love
Okay.
all of them, and they take me uh, for many years. When I was so I read it when I was, I think, in college or something like that, and it really took me to a different world, and I appreciate now, as a writer, I appreciate the kind of world it took to create, the kind of talent and imagination it took to create such a complete
Right.
unique experience. I mean, now I appreciate it more. That time, I was reading it just as a fantasy, and it was a
Right.
great
Right.
story. But when I decided to become a writer is when I realized how difficult and how um, challenging it must have been for her to actually create those
Right.
characters and that world. So that's one of my all-time favorites. I have not come across, since romance and fantasy is my genre. So that's one of my favorites.
Even one of I also have heard similar takeaway from another author who said that um, uh, Harry Potter series is technically very strong,
Yes.
and she reads it to understand how to form sentences and express a certain story in a
Mm-hmm.
very crisp and short sentences. So yes, I have heard similar takeaway about Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And even though we are readers, and when we read from a point of a reader's perspective.
Yes.
But I can totally understand how difficult it is to form a story and present it. And
Yes.
I really appreciate that. Um,
Brilliant.
Trisha,
Mm.
do you have any tips or any advice for young authors or aspiring writers?
Well, I myself am a budding author. Although I have published 4 books, 2 are poetry and 2 novels,
Yes, right.
but I still am upcoming. So for people who, for me to, I would also call myself a newbie. And for those who want to write, I would just say that, I have not gone through any particular classes or things like that for writing. Yes, I did in my educational background. I had English literature and those kind of things, but I have not taken a writer's course as such. So if you want to actually put down a novel, only thing you have to do is have imagination, and don't uh, don't restrict yourself to too much technicalities, because once the moment you put boundaries to yourself, that much pressure you put on your writing. And research, definitely a lot of research is involved in create, even if you know the topic, even if it is a familiar thing that you're writing about, just do a lot of research, so that when you actually get down to writing, or while you're writing doing the research, it will create your story and it will make it better, is what I personally feel. So these are the
Right.
tips.
And how difficult or how easy it is to finalize a publishing house?
Yeah, so that is quite tough. So my first for my poetry books, I went completely for self-publishing. Our post which for the novels, I had to search for a publisher, so I sent out these requests that you do with where you uh, create a manuscript, and you create a
Right.
synopsis, and you create a
Cover
a
letter.
letter, yes, a cover letter, and then you have to create a thing as to why your book is the competitive advantage. So there are a lot of things that you have to create and send it out. So writing the book is actually the easiest. Let me tell you. So writing the book, because post that, to find a publisher that actually fits. I mean, you have a great fit with, is very rare. I'm yet to find that. Yes, currently Amana is published with Leapstart, and I am working with them right now. But um, so it is a hit and miss. I would not tell you to get disheartened by rejections, because I've had quite a few rejections. And you, I mean, at that point you will feel like, okay, am I good enough, or is it worth it? But just one voice telling you you're not good enough doesn't mean you're not good enough. So you have to at least give yourself a shot. If you believe in your talent, and you've got a good story to tell, it'll sell. So, and you land a
So I
great
think
publisher.
perseverance is very important,
Definitely,
and
definitely.
I have always believed that finding the right publishing house is almost like finding the right match for your
For your
marriage. So
marriage, exactly.
so it's
Which
similar
is,
actually. It's
yeah,
like a
I'm
soul.
glad, I'm glad I found at least my soulmate in life. So
Right,
in that area,
exactly.
I'm secure.
One area taken care of.
One, one tick. Yeah.
So I think we should wrap up. But then before going out, I would like to know about your upcoming project. If you are writing anything new,
Yes, yes, I am working on something new, but I do not want to discuss absolutely anything about it, because it's in the creation stage, and I don't like to talk too much about it. Only thing I can say, that it is a completely different genre. I have challenged myself in this particular thing, and that is what I strive to do. I don't like to restrict myself to just one particular genre, because I feel that the stories that I have in my mind and that I want to say, they are from different facets of life, and uh, it could be anything. So this next genre, yeah, hopefully it'll get done soon, and once it's out, hopefully you all will like it. So let's see.
so I'm now intrigued to know what is the genre and what is
Yeah.
the story behind it. But do you have any month or any date in mind by when it will be out for the readers?
I'm looking to actually finish it this year and hopefully publish it by next year, because this year, because of the COVID and everything, there were a lot of negative energy around, and a lot of negative things happening around. So I did not want to come out with a story this year. And also my writing process got a bit delayed because of a lot of negative news around and everything. And we all are dealing with certain
Right.
changes in the way of life and everything. So yeah, mostly next year.
Okay,
I
great.
will keep
So
you
I'll be,
posted.
yes, so I'll be following up to know like
Yes, I
when
will
it
keep
is
you
out.
posted. Yes.
And before we sign off, I would like to say that Amma and I is available with us on our online
Yes.
bookstore, www.mysecretbookshelf.co.in. And these are all signed copies that we have from Trishna.
That's
So
right.
um, go through our website, read through the blurb. If it appeals to you, then do purchase. We are also giving out a discount compared to your other favorite e-commerce websites. But then, yes, do check it out and let us know how you'll like it. That was a message for our viewers. And I'm going to share all the details that we have discussed today, your Harry Potter love and all your other published books apart from
Yes.
Amma and I.
Thank you.
And I'll also share this video online so
All right.
that we can come back and other viewers who are there, they can come back to this. So thank you, Trishna, for doing this
Thank
today with
you. Thank
me.
you for your time and have
And
a nice Sunday.
thank you so much. And I hope that we do this again sometime, maybe in couple of months when you are
Yes.
a
I've
little
got a
bit
hang of it
ready.
now. Yes.
Right, right. It's not that difficult actually.
Yeah,
So
yeah. It's very easy now that I know.
yes. So good wishes to you
Thank
and
you.
your book.
Thank you so
And
much.
take care, Trishna. Bye.
Yes. Take care. Bye.